Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, June 20th. It is 6:16 right now. Market's going to open in about 14 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. So we're coming back from a long weekend, guys. As you guys know, when the market reopens from a long weekend, it does move a little bit iffy. So just be careful with your entries. Be a little cautious today. Per usual. Normally, we're pretty cautious on Mondays anyways. This is our actual official Monday since there was no trading day yesterday. Markets were technically closed for the New York session. So we'll try to find some moves today. We're not going to force anything, of course. So anyways, guys, give me a few more moments to finish setting this up and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, there we go. I'll get this link sent out as well. All right, guys, morning, everybody. I'll get a few more moments for people to continue making their way in. Looks like people are still joining at the moment. And we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, guys, happy Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, June 20th. It is 16:18 right now. Market's going to open in about 12 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and market liquidity shortly, and then we'll get started with our analysis in a few. Hey, Saquon, how's it going, man? Long time no see, bro. Yeah, I know it's good to see and hear from you. It's been a while. It's cool. It seems like a lot of people are coming back to the group. A lot of faces that I haven't seen either in YouTube or in the Zoom or like anywhere really. Appreciate a lot of you guys popping in and saying hello. It's been a while, but yeah, it's fun. Good to see you. It's been like, I don't know what, a couple months, maybe a year now. I think last time I talked to you, last time you were in the room was like last summer or like in the fall. So good to see you back in here. Yeah, still doing it every day. Morning, CJ, morning, Surin, morning, Akash, morning, everybody. Market is going to open in about 11 minutes, guys. So I'm going to start marking up liquidity over here. So I'll start off with this level right there. It's really just like marking up the text that takes a long time, but I'm getting used to it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these up real quick. Hey, Pablo, morning. Morning, Daniel, morning, Sam, morning, everybody. Hey, Dan, morning. So if you guys didn't sit in on the mentoring session yesterday, we didn't have a live session, but we did have our mentoring session. If you didn't watch it, we went over a lot of stuff yesterday. So if you guys want to review that, just go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades, and pull up the session from Monday, June 20th or June 19th. We had a lot of good questions yesterday. So if there's anything that you guys are like concerned with, the questions probably got answered yesterday because we did get a lot of questions regarding a lot of the more recent stuff. So Yeah, if that's something that you guys want to check out, feel free to check it out. All the live streams are available on the YouTube channel. And it's crazy. I think we went over like the number of live streams that we had. I think we had like almost 300 mentoring sessions and over nearly 700 live sessions. So that's a lot of sessions. We date back like five years now for consistent live sessions every day and every week. So, all right, we got the daily liquidity marked up there. Here is the 8-hour liquidity. Hey, Hussein, how's it going? Morning. Yeah, no, definitely good to see you too. All right, so I'm going to finish marking up this liquidity. As you guys can see, I think notating it is probably what takes the longest time. So I have to pause and identify this, but I think it's been useful for us. One thing that Martha actually mentioned yesterday was color coding the weaker liquidity. So I think I'll be doing that too. She color codes liquidity, anything that's lower than the 1 hour, which she considers weak, which I think is a great idea. So I'm going to be doing that as well. It's going to help us really understand what to look out for. All right, 622 right now. I'm going to start to speed this up a little bit. As we get closer to market open right here. All right. So liquidity back to the 1 hour. A lot of this liquidity on the bottom is probably not going to get hit, but just keep it marked up for now. All right, so on these lower time frames, I will mark them up with a different color. So that you guys know that they are a bit risky compared to the others. It's a lot more 15-minute liquidities here. So as you guys know, I personally don't like taking lower level liquidities. There's a lot of 15-minute liquidities over here. I don't know if I'll take it. We'll have to look at what the overall bias looks like. If it's very bullish, then obviously I'm not going to take it. But we'll obviously we'll keep an eye out for it here. All right, 10-minute. Got a couple more here for the 10. So there's actually a lot of liquidity. I didn't think there was going to be this much liquidity around the area, but I mean, it looks like there is quite a bit. Not very strong, but still liquidity. So, all right, we're all done with marking up liquidity there. Closest liquidity to the top side is a 2-hour liquidity. That actually looks like a good one. Lower liquidity over here is going to be the 15-minute, not very strong. Looks like this one over here already got touched. So I'm going to go ahead and let me just see if I can adjust that. I just marked it at the wrong one. Yeah, right there. All right. So looks good for the most part. But as you guys can see, there's liquidity and basically multiple areas here. All right, so it's 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Karen. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Barty. Akash lost my account, so took a break to get my mindset back on track. Finally back. No, definitely, it happens, Akash. So it's good to see you back here in the group. What happened to my indicator here? Fix this. I think I was playing around with the indicators and I kind of screwed around with this here. Oh, I just did. I think it was this right here. Yeah, I think I was playing around with the indicators yesterday because my brother was setting some stuff up for me. All right, guys. Morning, Glenn. Morning, everybody. All right, so we have the liquidity marked up right there. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the overall bias right now. So let's go ahead and mark that up first. So let's go over here, back this up a little bit, refresh that. Let's run the sessions. All right, so overall bias for today, retail sentiment. Every time I try to type something up, someone joins the room. Okay, there we go. Short-term technical bias. Long-term technical bias. Hey guys, team, how's it going? Long time no see. A lot of old faces today. So good to see a lot of guys here. A lot of the older members here rejoining the group for a pretty long hiatus. So good to see a lot of you guys back here in the group. Overall bias for today, let's start off with the retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 65% short. This indicates that 65% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. So bullish bias for retail sentiment, 65% short. Huge drop right here pre-market. As you guys can see, the market's starting to drop pretty heavily. It probably knocked out a lot of liquidity down there. So we'll go back and take a look at that. Fundamentals are currently down 76 points. They're currently bearish neutral. Negative 65 points. Yeah, the market's starting to drop kind of crazy right now. As you guys know, we're coming back from a long holiday weekend. So with that said, you're going to see some of this unusual movement here. You can see over here on the short-term technicals, they're currently bearish neutral. They were bullish just a few minutes ago. They're now bearish. So I'm going to put bearish neutral for technical bias on the short side. And then for the long term, or not long term, but higher time frames, you can see that it is bearish neutral as well. 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish. 4 hour right here is pretty much neutral right down the middle. So we're going to put bearish neutral here for long-term bias. We don't really have a strong bias at all, but it is somewhat bearish at the moment. Short-term is bearish, but long-term is still bullish. So there was a 15-minute liquidity getting knocked out. It's no longer going to be useful to us because it hit pre-market. So all these levels right here are not going to be useful to us, but it did hit 15-minute liquidity right there. As you can see, price dumped down super heavy at that moment. There goes opening bell. Market is now open. Price just hit this lower liquidity right there. Not going to take that trade because obvious reasons. Price is moving kind of crazy right here. So I'm not going to take any of this liquidity right here, guys. I'm going to wait for price to possibly swing back to the upside. But if you guys took the liquidity right there for 100 pips, you could have took that in, locked it in, full TP. But yeah, as you guys can see, I kind of warned you guys at the beginning of the session that the market typically moves kind of crazy when you're coming back from a long weekend. A lot of unusual price movement, a lot of manipulations. A lot of people are re-entering the market from the long weekend. So there's a lot of pending orders there that just got filled as soon as market opened. and it blasted right through that area of liquidity right there. So I didn't take that trade there. So obviously I'm not going to count it. If I was to take it, it would have been for a partial 100 pips, but I'm not going to take that risk today. We'll see if price comes back up. Next level of liquidity is pretty far down. There's no other liquidity on the bottom side. Next one's going to be down here, which is pretty far off. But you guys can see pretty much all the liquidity that I marked up from this morning just got hit. Pre-market right there, pre-market right there, and then open right here. So if you guys caught it, great. If you guys didn't, it's fine. It's just a risky move. I wasn't ready to take that move right there. It happened too quickly, like literally on open. And it was way overextended too. I don't want to chase this drop right here. So if you guys caught it, awesome. If you guys didn't, it's okay. We're going to be looking for the next opportunity for entry. Unfortunately, there's no other levels of liquidity down here. It's pretty far out. Let me see where this is at. That's the 1 hour liquidity. So if price does come down that far, that's going to be 1 hour liquidity down there, but it's super far. So if I was to measure that from where price is currently at right now, yeah, it's way too far. I don't see that level of liquidity getting hit by today. Yeah, no, it's a 2,000 pip drop. That's too far down. All right, here we go. As price starts to bounce around this area. So there's no more liquidity down below, guys. Liquidity down below got hit already. Exactly. Yeah, Maddie said might be a fake out to the downside, then correction back to the upside. I can see that too, Maddie. That's why I wasn't really too tempted to take the sells here, because the retail sentiment is still very strong. It's currently, let's see, stocks, breaking news over here, CNBC, stocks fall to start the holiday shortened trading week. Yeah, we expected that. I mean, I expected price to either drop or go up. It could have went in either direction, but it obviously went down. So correction to the upside might be on the way. As you can see over here, retail sentiment is currently 63% short. A lot of the people who are on the sell side, they just pulled out of their position. They got scared and pulled out. It was 65 pre-market, market open went down to 63. So like 2% of the people who were selling decided to pull out. So that's fine and it's normal. So with that said, retail sentiment is still bullish. We're still looking for buys long-term. Short-term bias is still somewhat bearish. Let me go and refresh this real quick and see what it's looking like. It's currently down 166 points. So it's now considered bearish with regard to fundamentals, 166 points in the red. Short-term technical bias, currently bearish neutral. I think it's going to be just bearish now, but we'll see. I got to wait for it to hold because the 10-minute candle right here hasn't even closed below. It closed just one candle, but it hasn't really established down below yet. So we'll see where that ends up going. Here we go. As price pushes on its way back up. You know, if anything, price may push back up back to opening price. I'm going to go and mark up opening price over here. So opening price was right over here. So price does push back up. That's going to be target price for price to return to. I'm going to go over here to the queen chart as well. Mark up 6:30. Right there. Mark up 8 o'clock. Right there, mark up opening price. Actually, price is already back to opening price right there. So price dropped and it came right back to opening price already. So price is actually at opening price right now. Or it's already past it. So there you go with the correction back to the upside. I kind of expected this to happen. I think price will swing back up. I think overall today, price will correct back up, and I think for the week it'll be bullish. But it just faked out right there on open. Typical move for the market. There was no V1 variation here. If I saw a V1 variation, I might have been okay to take the entry. But since we didn't have that, definitely was not looking for any entries here. I'm not taking any random entries. I'm looking for actual solid entries to take so that I can get in and feel confident about my entry. So yeah, I was looking for the V1 right there too, Maddie. Didn't see anything. But all right, so we'll see if anything comes up here. It doesn't look like anybody really took a liquidity push to the downside over here. I mean, it all hit TP. If you guys have profits to share on that, you know, feel free, but it didn't really it didn't look like a good entry for any of these points here. Price is now correcting back up, so we'll see where this goes. Currently 63% short, so I think price will correct back up eventually. Retail sentiment is going to be like the main indicator here for direction. So everything here could be short, but price can just shift back up. Short, you can see over here on the short-term technicals, they're starting to shift back up already. The 1 minute is now neutral, 5 minute is swinging back up as well, and the 10 minute is making its way back up as well. It just had one candle that closed below, and that's about it. 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour. I'm just going to switch this back to neutral because it's not really bearish anymore. It's more on the neutral side. And same with the short term, put that neutral as well. So there's not really much of a bearish bias right now. The only bearish bias that's confirming is going to be the fundamentals right now. They're currently down 137 points. Maybe in the next couple of minutes, it's going to go back to less than 100. And at that point, price may just keep correcting to the upside. So we'll see. But there's just nothing for us to take right here. I'm still debating whether we want to swap out the high-low momentum scalp with a V1 variation. So I'll let you guys know if I decide to swap that out. But as you guys know, majority of you guys do like taking the V1 variation. It also goes hand in hand with the liquidity. So might be the case, but we'll see what happens here in the next couple of days or so. We are entering summer. I don't know if today's the official day of summer. Let me check real quick. Official day of summer 2023. It starts tomorrow. So tomorrow is the official day of summer. Summer's going to run from tomorrow up until September 22nd. So getting to that point. All right, here we go. As price starts to bounce around a little further. You can see right there, it's coming right back down to opening price. Look where price comes down to. I wouldn't be surprised if price rejects off that point or breaks below. It can really go in either direction. There just isn't much direction right now. Overall bias is pretty much neutral at the moment. And you can see right there, look where price bounced directly off. See that red candle? It bounced directly off the blue line, which is New York open price. No surprise there. As you can see, these horizontal lines that I draw on the chart, they act as magnets. So the sessions, opening price, etc. I'm going to go ahead over here and mark up the higher high right there. And then I'm going to mark up the lower low right there. So that you guys have an idea as to where the range is currently at. I mean, the range is pretty far out. Right there. And right there. There goes, price pushes back up. This is a possible V2 variation, as you guys can see. The candle's kind of big though. It's a little big. That's a V2 variation though, if you guys follow that. It is touching opening price though. So as you guys know, the red flags still apply for the V2 variations. So it's not one that I necessarily take the red flags right there. I'll keep the red flags up here. We discussed this yesterday, and like the only reason I stopped posting them up is because the high-low momentum scalp doesn't require red flags. So like when to avoid trades when price is near sessions, opening price, news price, candle prior entry is too large, or when price is ranging. Right here, you can see price is, for one, it's touching opening price, and for two, price is ranging. It's going back and forth. So a couple of red flags there. Sometimes people will enter these late. So I see a lot of people, they'll follow these trades and they won't enter right away, but they'll enter if it comes back up for a retest. So like, for example, if you wanted to still enter this trade, you would have just waited for it to come back up from this point here. But, red flags are there for a reason. They're trades to avoid. Let me go and check the calendar real quick. I think there was news this morning. So there's news at 5:30. It was low impact news, building permits, housing starts at 5:30 this morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that up. If that becomes the case and we start applying the V1 variations, I'm going to be very in tune with these red flags, because obviously we can't be taking trades at red flags. So try to keep that in mind moving forward. But it's just a lot more stuff to look at. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a lot of stuff to look at and pay attention to, of course. There's no news today. So the only news was that news at 5:30, building permits, housing starts. That's pretty much it for the most part. So here goes, price comes back down. So guys, just another reminder, I know some people are asking if I took the liquidity, people who are joining late. I didn't take any of the liquidity pushes here. There was a lot of liquidity here that got knocked out. I didn't take any of it, even though the liquidity down here, this was the actual liquidity that was supposed to be taken. I didn't take it, so it's not going to count as a win. I only count trades that I take myself. So if you guys took this liquidity right here, this obviously went straight to full TP at like immediately on open. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I didn't take it, so it's not going to count as a win. As you guys can see, a lot of these trades still hit, but I don't count the trades that I don't take. So I'm only counting trades that I personally take myself. There's nothing for me to take here at the moment. So we'll see where this ends up going. See, Maddie just said that retail sentiment went up to 64% short. So if this is the case, I think price is going to make a really strong correction to the upside, maybe later today or by the end of this week. The sentiment is just way too strong. So this bearish drop right here just might be temporary. It might be for the next couple of days or so, or even just for today. And then eventually price is going to correct all the way back up because you're going to have to stop all those people out. So what I'd be looking for is liquidity to start developing on the top side. Once the liquidity starts developing on the top side, I'm just going to clean this up. Then we may be able to cash some really nice moves for some buys. So no liquidity right now, but I think by tomorrow, if price continues dropping, there's going to be a lot of liquidity sitting on the top side. So just be careful if you guys are looking to take sells right here. As you guys can see, it's not really, it's not necessarily a good area to be trading in at the moment. There's just no clear direction. You want it to be pretty clear. Fundamentals are now down 223 points, so they're down pretty heavily. But you do want to be a little careful with taking any of these entries here, of course. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to change the numbers. We already know it's bearish. Only time I'll change it if it shifts. So there's a V1 variation that's pending right here, but it's not an actual V1 entry because as you guys know, you need to have an overall bias. So this is a V1 pattern. It's a double body, but it's not one I would take because short-term technicals are currently bearish and long-term technicals are currently bearish as well. And fundamentals are bearish too. So there's not really much of a bullish bias here, aside from retail sentiment, which would be speculation for a buy. So yeah, unfortunately, this looks like it could have been a nice V1 variation, and the candle's also huge. So looking at the red flags over here, a couple of things. Price is near session, which is a purple line right here, and candle prior to entry is too large. Candle here is way too big. Yeah, this candle right here is about like 400 pips. It's way too huge. All right, let's take a look at the overall bias again. So as you guys can see on the 30-minute, 1 hour, so 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, you can see that price is below the pivots, the trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. This indicates that it's in a downwards trend. The 4 hour over here is still a neutral because the trend meter is currently green and price is in between the pivots. So for the most part, it's bearish with regard to trend on long-term and short-term. However, the 4 hour time frame here has not followed along yet. So currently right now, short-term is currently bearish. Long-term is still bearish neutral. So it shifted a little bit, but I don't know how long this will hold for. As you guys can see, this might just shift all the way back up, but there's no direction right now. Price is pretty much just going back and forth. There's just not much here to work with. So if you guys saw that V1, the V1 looks like it would have played out, but again, it's too close to all these red flags. So not exactly one that I would personally take. If price pushes up further, target price point is going to be opening price, of course. So price is pushing up right there. If it does continue to push up higher, target price point again is going to be opening price right there. Here is the clean chart. I'll just keep updating these zones over here. So as you guys can see market structure. So yeah, price pushes up. It's probably gonna push up to the opening price, but as you can see, it's not really moving too strongly right now. Price broken close above the structure right there. It's retesting the structure. We'll see if it continues to push up higher or if it comes back down. It's right at the sessions though, so it's an area of manipulation. I know a lot of people take trades directly off these bounces. So some people like to trade directly off the bounces from the sessions, which is a decent way to trade. I mean, I've traded that way before. It's just too risky because it'll either hit your TP or it'll either hit your stop loss. It's not gonna, you're kind of taking a gamble at that point. I mean, for example, here, if you took the sell when it bounced off the sessions right there, it probably would have hit your TP by now. Yeah, because it dropped like 16 points. So 10 points for your TP, would bounce off, go straight to your TP, and then you'd be out of it. Hey, Nick, no trades for today specifically. I mean, there was a lot of liquidity that hit from below. So there was like about 3 different liquidity entries, all of them for at least 300 pips. We didn't take any of them though, because 2 of them hit pre-market. And then the one on open, it was like super overextended already. Price was already down like 700 pips. We weren't going to hop into that and then get caught in the reversal. So there was 3 liquidity zones that got hit. They were all 15-minute zones. So they were pretty weak. But we didn't take them because it happened pre-market. It was overextended. You can see it right here. Okay. So I had it marked up. There we go. Put it back on. So all liquidity right here got knocked out. It was all 15-minute liquidity. Market opened right here. Right. This is pre-market actually. Pre-market price came from up here all the way down here. About 1,300 pips or 1,400 pips. I didn't want to chase it. We could have entered right here because if we entered down here, we still would have got our 300 pips. And you can see how price reversed back up. So no official entries, like nothing that I took, but looks like Dave here actually caught it. So a couple of people actually caught the liquidity there. Dave caught it on his first account right here. He locked in 26. That's his first one. And then here's Dave's second account over here. He locked in 25. So he locked it in for his accounts there. Natasha here, she took a trade earlier, locked in 435. She took a V1 earlier. And then Barty over here, he's up 1,144. So Barty took the sell there as well. Made 151 off that trade. So there's people who took the trade, but I didn't take it myself. So I'm not counting the trade. I try to be as transparent as possible. So I'm not going to count a win, even though it came up as a win for the liquidity. I'm only counting the trade that I take myself. So yeah, unfortunately, the market was just moving a little too crazy on open. I was hoping for this to play out when market actually opened, but it played out like on the last, like the 2 minutes before market opened. And it was just too crazy. The movement was just all over the place. So I was obviously not going to chase that move. As most of you guys know, trading is all about discipline. It's really about discipline and consistency. Like you could get emotional and just hop into the trade there, but that trade could easily just reversed on you if you entered just a little too late. Because it obviously did reverse right here. Price came down, would have hit TP and then would have reversed. But if you entered late, you would have gotten caught in a little bit of a nasty move right there. So as you guys can see, price is having trouble getting past the sessions right here. It's a lot of back and forth movement. Not really much of an opportunity for us to make entry here. So, I mean, we'll see where this ends up going. All right, sentiment is still, it's back to 63. So it's kind of just bouncing between 63 and 64. A lot of people are just getting in and out of the position, it looks like. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals should still be down very heavily. Currently down 168 points, so it's obviously bearish. Looking over here at the technicals are pretty much mixed as well. But it looks bearish for the most part. So if we get some V1 variations for a sell, possible entry, but I'm not going to be looking for anything specific here. So if anything, we might switch out the high-low momentum scalps. I mean, you guys can still apply it. The strategy still works fine. It's just there's better opportunities by switching them out. Like for example, there's a high-low momentum scalp that came up right here. That was a full TP. There's a high level momentum scalp right here. That was also a full TP. So the strategy still works fine. It's just it just depends on the market conditions. So there's two high level momentum scalps that came out today pre-market. They both hit full TP. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. It's just there's not as many entries that are coming up. So we'll play by ear. If we want to keep using it, we can keep using it. But if not, we'll probably swap it out with like a V1 variation. Let's see. Barney said, made enough today, Sean. Time to sit back and enjoy your stream. Yeah, no, definitely, Barney. You did pretty good today. You made about 1,000. So you keep hitting your record. I feel like your record for the day is probably like around 1,000, 1,005. You've been hitting that pretty much every day. So nice work, Barney. With now you gotta get to that 2,000 plus range per day. Once you get to that, you just keep multiplying from there. Let's see. CJ's asking, liquidity has been hitting pre-market more frequently lately. Is that a summer thing or because of the news? I think it's mainly because of the news, CJ. Like for example, today we're coming back from a long weekend. So basically like all these pending orders here just got filled as soon as market was opening pre-market. Because a lot of brokers, they allow you to trade like a few minutes before market open. And that's basically what happened there. So news with regard to the holiday yesterday was causing all that volatility. Summer is actually opposite. So for summer, market should be a lot slower. But since there's news, it causes the price to move a lot faster pre-market and then probably early on in the session. There's no other news today though. So I think the market may be a little flat for the rest of the day, unless it corrects back up. If anything, a correction might happen here and price might swing back up. But for the most part, a lot of the movement's based off it's based off news. So let's keep that in mind. Let's see, Maddie said double body at 648. Oh yeah, this one right here. So you took that, or there was a V1 there for a buy, it looks like. Let's see, Maddie said we've got Powell and 3 other FOMC members speaking tomorrow, 4-day week, holiday week, and FOMC. Yeah, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on this week. So let's check the calendar real quick. All right, so for tomorrow, we have news at 7 o'clock. Fed Chair Powell is going to be testifying at 7. Right after that, Fed member Cook is going to speak, and then Fed member Jefferson. And then right after that, Fed member Goolsbee is going to speak as well. Thursday, we have Fed member Waller speaking. That's a weird time. Fed member Waller speaking at 1 a.m. I don't know. That's kind of weird for him to be speaking that early. We have unemployment claims at 5:30. We have Fed member Bowman speaking at 6:55. I think this is Fed week. So the Fed is speaking pretty much every day this week. Fed Chair Powell is going to be testifying basically every day at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a lot of volatility. So you got to be very careful with trading around that time. We're probably just going to look for that liquidity on open, and then we're probably just going to sit out the rest of the day because Powell's going to start speaking at 7. It's going to be a messy market for sure. And Friday, we have flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. So we got a lot of news coming up this week, a lot of Fed stuff going on. It's basically Fed week. The third week of the month is typically Fed week. So I think we are in our third week, if not fourth week. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, and it's a short week too. So, we'll play by ear and see what we can get here, but you just want to be careful. Liquidity pushes will be fine around those areas, but once Powell starts speaking, you want to be very careful because he's going to cause price to be very volatile. It's moving very violently around like 7 o'clock because he's going to be talking about the recession. He's going to be talking about inflation. He's going to be talking about interest rates. There's a lot of stuff. If you guys have student loans are going to resume, I believe, in October. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They got to figure out if they're going to forgive some of the loans, or if they're going to, I don't think they're going to keep pushing it off. I think people are just going to have to start paying for it again, which is like a huge downside for me because I owe so much in loans from my law school. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. in the next couple weeks, next couple months. It's nice. Natasha said they gave 53K of my student loans. Oh, that's what they forgave, Natasha. I gotta check mine. I owe like, because as you guys know, I'm an attorney, so I went to law school before I started trading full time. That's the whole reason I started trading, because I was like, it's gonna be impossible for me to pay off my student loans if I'm just working as an attorney. Like I make good money as an attorney, but it's not enough to pay off my student loans like anytime soon. So I probably owe like probably $500,000. I owe like close to that amount in student loans from college and from law school, and I don't even want to think about it, but I could pay it off. It's just I'm holding off on paying it off because it's been in forbearance since like COVID. So loans forgiven. She only owes 6,000 now. Andrew said he still has 90K left. Yeah, I know. I wish mine was around that point, but I'm like I'm in the 500K range. School is expensive, guys. School is super expensive. You don't really realize it until you're done with school and you're like, crap, I gotta pay this stuff off. Nice. Yeah, Natasha said she owed 72,000 in student loans, but she applied for the forgiveness program that was started by Biden. Yeah, the thing with that is like they haven't passed that yet, so I got to wait for that to pass. Hopefully, I get some forgiven as well, Natasha. But yeah, they haven't passed that yet, so hopefully they pass that so you can get that forgiven. I'm hoping, because then I hope I get some forgiven too. They didn't tell me how much they were going to give me, but I mean, we'll see. A lot of my loans are private loans, so I don't think I can really get much of them forgiven. Barty said that these high loan indicators are so tempting, Sean. Price below all pivots, take lower high, write that down. Yeah, no, exactly. That's where we look for those V1, V2 variations. Let's see, Hussein said, where'd you graduate from? So I did my undergraduate at Long Beach State. That's where Maddie went to. So Maddie went to undergrad there too. I went there for my undergraduate studies. And then for law school, I went to Thomas Jefferson in San Diego. So my undergraduate wasn't that much. I owed like maybe like 25K, 30K, because I got a lot of grants for undergrad, but law school was expensive. That was like the most expensive thing, because I had to move to like an expensive city to go to school there. I live in the downtown area. I think per semester was like over 50K, 60K. So I was there for like, I don't know what, 6 semesters. So 60K times 6 semesters plus rent, living expenses, plus books, plus everything. It adds up. So yeah, just think twice, guys, before you go to school. I mean, I don't take it back. School is, you know, I got to where I am today because of school, not necessarily from learning, but from experiences. So yeah, I don't knock school, but I'd say only go to school if you know what you want to do. Like I knew I was going to be a lawyer since I was a kid, so I went straight to school to become a lawyer. Madison school didn't do anything for him. Yeah, exactly. Yes, he just said you're right. School's expensive. Degrees are just as much as a huge home. Let's see. ARK is asking if that 1 hour trade is coming along. It actually is ARK, so we'll see how this ends up playing through. All right, so price is pushing around right there. So it looks already hit. I don't know if you guys took it. So Gian, Arik, Natasha, I don't know if you guys caught that. I caught that too with you guys. So a lot of you guys are following along with that 1 hour trade that I've been following. I just took it right there for a 2,000 profit. Thanks, Arik, for the heads up. I owe you one for that. Oh, you a beer when I come when I see you, Art. I wasn't even looking at it, but Arik mentioned the 1 hour trade. So there's a strategy that I've been playing around with. It's a strategy where like you see how in the 1 hour when the 1 hour candle opens, there's a lot of volatility. I just trade in the direction of the trend. So I trade in the direction of momentum, I have momentum and have the trend right there. Arik was asking me, like luckily I scrolled up and I saw Arik's message. He said, is that 1 hour trade coming? Saw it. I caught it, Gian caught it, Natasha missed it. It's all good. Daniel caught it as well. But yeah, thanks, Art, for the heads up. This isn't an official strategy, but it's a strategy that I've applied in the past. So this is an old strategy that I applied like maybe 5 or 7 years ago. I just never really looked at it because I didn't trade US30 back then, so I didn't really catch the volatility. Right now, I just saw it, or I've been applying it lately for the past couple of weeks. The strategy is really it's really accurate. I apply it, or I try to apply it in the morning. I'd say maybe 6 to 11, whatever. Me and Gian did some back testing. We were trying 6 to 11. It seems like a good time to apply it. I'd have to look at like market. I think what I have to look at as well, Gian, when looking at these trades is I have to look at a market structure. So if it looks really clean like this, like a clean bearish bias, then I think it's pretty smooth to just take it. If it's just ranging, I think I think we still have to put some thinking process into it, Gian. It's not like automatic just take and go, right? I think we should like look at market structure here. But since the overall bias here was bearish, that's why I was kind of okay with taking it there for a sell. So nice. Mike caught it. Yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys here caught it. So great work, guys, for whoever caught the trade there. I'm not going to count it as I'm not going to count it as an official trade, but I'm just want to give you guys a heads up so you guys are, and I'll just take a screenshot here so that you guys can see where my profits came from. Because I know a lot of you guys want to go and just review the trades after the live session is done. This isn't an official strategy. It's an old strategy that I used to apply for Forex, but it's not like one that I necessarily have been applying for a very long on US30. But it works. It actually works really good on US30. The volatility is very useful. So let me see full TP or plus 100 pips on this 1 hour. So it looks like some of you guys caught it. It's okay. I'm not going to count it as an official trade, but I just want to post it there so that if you guys want to go and review the trade later in the future, you guys can. But that was a great trade right there. So again, thanks RX. I said RX for the heads up. Appreciate you for that. All right, so let me just screenshot my profits for the day and for the week so far. Guys, don't worry if you guys haven't taken any trades. There's no trades that have come up yet. There's no V1 variations. There's no liquidity push. Liquidity so far from current price that there's no official entries that we can necessarily take. As I mentioned before, guys, don't FOMO into any trades. If you guys know what we're doing, go ahead and take it. If you guys don't, then just don't force anything. The trade will come. It's just, I know some of you guys might be getting a little impatient because there's no trades right now, but it'll happen. It's just, it's just a matter of time. Sometimes you'll be able to catch some of these other strategies that I'm applying, but I'm not counting these as official trades. These are just trades that I'm taking myself. So I'm going to keep forward testing this strategy. If it works well, then I'll introduce it to you guys. But you guys, it seems like a lot of you guys already know what I'm doing. It's not a difficult strategy. It's very easy, especially if you have my indicators. Like I don't even have to explain it to you. You guys basically already know what I'm doing. But yeah, as you guys can see, I forward test my strategies. I don't really back test. I don't really like back testing because I already know how to trade. I feel like back testing is good if you don't know the strategy or if you're not a good trader yet. But once you're comfortable with just reading the chart and just taking trades as they come, then you don't really need to back test. It's better to forward test because you can test them in real market conditions. I feel like back testing is kind of you kind of cheat yourself when you back test because you're always looking for those really good trades, and those really good trades don't always come up. Actually, they very rarely come up. So I like to forward test. It helps train my psychology, trading psychology, and then also you just understand how you act under like real market conditions. Because I'm sure you guys have realized that when you guys back test, everything's perfect, right? You don't feel like you'll ever lose. And then when you do it real time, you lose every trade because you're just like, you're not, you don't have the capability to really get in the zone, which you'll get eventually. All right. So I just posted on my profits, guys. All right. So here are my profits for the day so far. Just that one trade. It's not an official trade, just one that we took. It's the 1 hour entry. So here's my main account. You can see the green strip. I locked in a total profit of 2,340 for the day. A nice win right there. Here's my FTMO number 2. Got some slippage that worked out in my favor. Total profit of 2,440. Here's my MFF number 1. Of course, gave me some bad slippage. Only gave me 730. Should have been 1,000. Here's my MFF number 2, locked in total profit of 680. And then my second MFF count total profit of 608, or third MFF total profit of 680 as well. So doing pretty good for the week so far and for the day. For the day, currently up about 2, 4, 6, about 9K for the day. And then for the week, I'm up 7, like well over 10K for the week. So not too bad. V1 variation setup right here. It's not an actual entry, but it is a setup because it does have a double body, but overall bias here is bearish. So wouldn't necessarily take that trade there for a V1. So let's make some adjustments here. The low is now even lower. Here's a clean chart. As you guys can see the market structure here, price is coming down. But there's just no entries for you to take at the moment. Liquidity is trying to get closer to the lower liquidity, but it's still very far from the 1 hour liquidity down below. So the 1 hour liquidity is down here. Price is right here. It's still about 2,000 pips away. It's very far away. So it's nowhere near that lower level liquidity yet. There's no high-low momentum scalps. I mean, there's just nothing to take right now. There's no high-low momentum scalps, no V1 variations. Market's pretty much stale at the moment. It's just going side. It's not necessarily going sideways, but it's in a big range. So you can see over here from market structure, how the range is kind of set up. Price was ranging right here, came down below, range right here, came down below, and now it is consolidating and ranging down here. I wouldn't be surprised if price consolidates down here and then it ends up shooting all the way back up to opening price. So price swings back up, target price point is going to be opening price right there. That's where I think price is going to go to. So, you know, just a matter of time to until this ends up playing out however it needs to. But right now, there's just no direction. All right, so those are my profits right there. Let's take a look at everybody else's profits now. So I wasn't the only one that took profits there. It looks like CSUK over here as well. So here's CSUK's first account, total profit of 7,775 for the day, all wins. So nice work right there, CSUK. Here's CSUK's second account, total profit of 1,750. And here is CSUK's third account, total profit of 800 for the day. So we took that sell with us as well. Nice work, CSUK. Maddie sent me his profits individually, so I'll take a look at that as well. Here's Delicia. Delicia locked in a total profit of 1453 on her personal account. Small lot size, still made some pretty good profit off that trade. Great work right there, Delicia. Then we got Maddie over here. Maddie's first account, total profit of 210. Maddie's second account, total profit of 720. And Maddie's third account, total profit of 720 as well. Nice work, Maddie. Then we got Nelly over here, total profit of 960 as well. Nice work, Nelly. Take the sell right there. Profit of about 1,000 for the day. Solid work. And I think that's it for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my profits over here as well in the other groups. And And I have a screenshot there too, so you guys can see what trade I took. You guys want to go back and review. All right, so I mean, there's still no entries for us right here, guys. I'm still looking for entries. I'm looking for any high level momentum scalps. I'm probably just gonna swap out the high level momentum scalps for V1 variations, guys, to be honest, because I just don't see any good high level momentum scalps here. I feel like the V1 variation comes up a bit more often and it's a little more accurate, especially if you trade in the direction of bias. I think the biggest downside for this high level momentum scalp is that we don't use bias, and we're so used to using the bias. So if you guys want to keep using that strategy, feel free. I'll mark it if I see it. If it looks good, then I might even take it with you guys. But for the most part, I haven't really been taking these entries very often. A lot of you guys still taking it hits TP. But for me, I always gravitate towards the bias. So I always feel like I need the bias, because if I don't, then I don't feel good about a position. Like for example, here we could get a high level momentum scalp for a buy, but I personally probably wouldn't take it because I like trading the direction of bias. So we'll keep looking at it, but I think eventually we're probably going to swap it out for the V1 variations, because it goes hand in hand with our liquidity. So it's better to keep things in line, less confusion, and more of a similar move. So let me scroll over here real quick. Yeah, exactly. Maria said you owe your education all your life. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%, Maria. I think me going to law school and becoming an attorney and actually practicing law, I think that helped me with trading a whole lot, because now that I'm able to think very logically. Like if you guys see how I trade, everything that I trade is very mechanical, right? I have requirements for everything. It's like practicing law. Like if I'm ever to fight a case, or if I'm ever to defend a case or anything like that, there's law that you follow. Same with this. Like whenever we're applying a strategy here, like say if we're applying a V1 variation, like this is like the law, right? Like if you're looking at this here, you have to make sure every requirement's met. If requirements aren't met, you can't move on to the next step. It's the same as like practicing law. When I was working as an attorney, you have a law, and if not everything's met, you can't win that case. Like it's just unless you're good at manipulating, then you could. But for the most part, everything here is logical. So if we're playing a V1 variation, we have to confirm the overall bias, right? Overall bias right now is bearish. So with that said, we can move on to the next step. Now we're looking for a high low. If we don't have that, we can move on to the next step. It's like step after step after step. So yeah, I know the education did help me, and it's just the thinking process. So it does help a lot having this background, but it's not necessarily required. Because like Maddie here, right? Like Maddie does not have a background in anything related to trading or like critical thinking, and he does well. So there's two things. You guys can either be a critical thinker, or you guys can know how to follow directions. Those are the main two things. If you can do one of those, you'll be good at trading. Because if you're a critical thinker, you can think for yourself. If you're a good direction follower, you can follow my directions. So one or the other, you gotta fall into one of those categories. If you don't, and you don't like to listen or follow directions, then it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult for someone to really pick this stuff up. Let's see. Millionaire Minds is asking, how do I get out of a trade that I have both buys and sells? I'm high on margin. I mean, you just have to close one out or close some of them out. Millionaire Minds. I mean, I don't know how high in margin you are. If you're really high in margin, you might get margin called out. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people where you just got too deep into drawdown, and then the trade, your broker just automatically kicked you out of the trade. So one or two things will happen. You'll either close out the trade yourself and regain some of that margin, or you'll get margin called out where your trade will just automatically close out for a deep loss. So I mean, there's a couple different ways to do it, but main way would be, I'd probably just, if you're in any buys, I would probably just close out of those, because it looks like price is in a strong bearish bias right now. Not to say that price will not correct back up, but it'll correct back up eventually. It might not happen anytime soon, but it's right now. If you're looking for right now, it's going to stay bearish for a while. But eventually, I do think it'll push up. Reason why I think it's going to push up is because retail sentiment here is currently 62% short. So I think price will correct to the upside. It's just going to take some time because retail sentiment here doesn't change as quickly as the shorter biases here. Fundamentals changes, by the minute, short term by the minute, long term maybe by the hour. But everything right now is currently bearish. So yeah, buys are not looking so great at the moment specifically. So currently bearish right now. You can see 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. 4 hours is still kind of neutral, but everything else is pretty much bearish. Yeah, how'd you get in trades on both sides? Millionaire Minds. I'm assuming you had a strategy that you followed, but me personally, that's why I trade in the direction of bias. I'm never on both sides of the market. I'm either on one side at one time, and then I'm on the other side at a different time, but never at the same time. That's like, it's super risky if you trade both ways. Because once price pushes in the other direction, you're gonna get, it's gonna burn bad, especially if it just keeps dropping or it keeps going up. Yeah, I know, Maddie, exactly right. Nice. Hussein said his father's a lawyer, also very mechanical in life. Yeah, no, I think life's a lot easier when you have a routine and everything's mechanical. It's like so simple. Like I do the same thing every day. I trade with you guys in the morning. I go to the gym. I come back. We have a mentoring session, and I go on with my day. It's like literally the same schedule every day. Makes life easy. Hussein said, but with the forward test, how can you assume how many pips would be suitable for TP stop loss? Well, we already have a fixed TP stop loss for the most part. Like you can just gauge the market to see how the market's moving. If market's moving fast, so you use a 1030. If market's moving slow, if market's moving slow, use a 1030. If market's moving fast, use a 2550. It just depends on how the market's moving. You just look at market structure, look at how the range is currently moving at the moment, and then you can make adjustments to your TP stop loss that way. But for the most part, the 1030 is pretty much solid, especially if you're trading on the 1 minute. It all comes with experience. Like you understand how the market moves over time, and you know exactly how to make adjustments to how markets move. Let's see. Roosevelt's asking, is a buy coming with a green momentum? Not that I can see. Roosevelt, you were probably talking about over here, right? You were talking about the buy signal that was pending over here. If that did come up, yeah, that'd be a high low momentum scalp, but it never came up. I was looking at that too. The only problem is that we had a lower high that started to produce right here. So anything after that wouldn't have played out, but you did identify that properly. Madu's asking, would the 805 candle be a high low scalp? Let me check real quick. 805, I think you mean 705 because you're an hour ahead. It looks like it would be, but I think the candle might be too big. Let me check. So the candle's a little too big, Madu, because it did close below here. Let's see. I mean, the candle is a little big. It wasn't like too big, but if it's that close to the stop loss, I usually keep a little gap there. So if it's like if it's less than 10 pips from the stop loss, then it's for my liking, it's too close. Like for example, right here, see how it's only five points? That's 50 pips. So I would consider the candle there, in my opinion, a little too big. And you can see over here that price was a bit overextended too, because price kind of came down. Like the same analysis that I've used in the mentoring sessions with other people with regard to overextension, it still carries over to like other assets. Like, so for example, here, price was pretty much dropping with no retracement for about, let's see. So from up here down to entry point, it was going down for about 22 minutes without any retracement. Price did consolidate here for a bit, but realistically it was dropping down for like 22 minutes straight, and it never pulled back up. like hard enough for a retracement, and that would just be overextended in my opinion. I don't know if you saw my one-on-one mentoring session with Allison. I think I went over that, just going over when trades become risky, because the overextension theory, it works for pretty much, I mean, it applies for everything, not necessarily just liquidity, but it also applies for things like high-low scalps, high-low momentum scalps, etc. Like, that's why sometimes if the high-low momentum scalp isn't a clean entry, I don't even take it. Like if it's overextended or if it's been ranging for too long. So yeah, that'd technically be a high-low scalp entry, but I think the candle would have been a little too big for me. It's just too close to the stop loss, like 50 pips. Way too risky from there. Let's see, Barty said who makes 5K on average like Sean does, very few work. Thanks, Barty. Yeah, no, definitely. It's just really being consistent, looking for like 1 or 2 good trades a day, and you're solid. 1 or 2 good trades a day, and then using proper risk. And everything else is just magic at that point. All right, so price is still dropping super heavily, guys. I was waiting for the retracement to the upside. Price hasn't retraced at all today. I mean, it's retraced a little bit, but not really. It's just dropping further and further lower. I don't know what's really causing the drop right now. I'm assuming there's something going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. But it's down like 356 points. You know, I think this is temporary. I think price will drop a lot today, and then over the next couple of days, price is going to go right back up because this is Fed week. So the Fed is going to be speaking tomorrow. So Fed Chair Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow. I think price will just continue dropping, and then tomorrow price will correct back up. I don't think there's anything specific that's causing price to drop like that. I just refreshed the news real quick. Let me see if there's any updates here. I don't see anything here that's necessarily pushing price down. There's no news right now. I mean, there's nothing going on that's specifically pushing price down that heavy, because it's dropping down very heavily. Like this is a very violent drop to the downside, and I wouldn't necessarily chase the retracement either. So price looks like it's due for retracement, but I'd be careful. This is a V1 variation that's pending right here, or just a V1 pattern, not necessarily an entry, but it's a pattern for a V1 variation. I mean, it looks like it's going to hit, or it already did hit, but I wouldn't have taken the trade. It's too risky of an entry for me. Yeah, I like my straight to TP right there. I still wouldn't take it because the overall bias is bearish, so I wouldn't take the V1 variation here. Probably look for the V1 variation back to the downside if and when it does come up, but I don't know what's necessarily causing the drop right now. See if there's any updates here. All right, 8 minutes ago, it says Baidu can rally 30% and help with from AI. Morgan Stanley says US food shares rise. Yeah, there's not really much here that's indicating what could be the drop. I mean, aside from the Ukraine war that's still going on. Yeah, it says Ukraine war live updates. Russia finds Telegram and Viber for illegal war content. Going to open to talking about Ukraine. And Russia's about to hack. They're about to hack Telegram next. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't really see anything going on here in the market causing this this dump. Rashida said getting close to that 1 hour liquidity. Yeah, it is getting closer. So price is now 600 pips away. This is a big drop. I wasn't expecting price to get near this 1 hour liquidity anytime soon. But I would be careful because look at how long this overextension has been. Price pretty much dropped from here down to here. There was some retracement, but even if you're going to measure it from this point to where price is currently at, it still dropped 2,000 pips within like less than an hour. So just be careful. I mean, if you want to take this liquidity down below, guys, I wouldn't necessarily advise you guys not to take it because it is a 1 hour liquidity. I would wait for price to actually consolidate down here below though, because price is way overextended. So I'd probably wait for price to consolidate here a bit, come down, consolidate a bit, and then break through. This is the pattern that you guys want to look for. You don't want to take it right away, because if you take it right away and you get something like this consolidation, hits liquidity, fakes out, and comes right back up. This is what you don't want to get caught in. You don't want to get caught in this fake out. So we've seen this pattern play out a lot of times. Like this has just played out crazy over the past couple of weeks. A lot of fake outs last week. So see how price is coming down now? This is not the type of liquidity that you want to look for. So price kind of consolidated here for a few. Consolidation. Drop down a little bit. You want some more consolidation closer to liquidity. And then you want to take that right there. So wait for the consolidation right here, guys, if you're looking to take the liquidity at this point. And I would only take it for 100 pips, because obviously price is extremely overextended right now. So yeah, maybe wait for that consolidation right there, and then eventually take it down further. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said it may be giving all the sellers this morning that closed FOMO. Yeah, I think the market is just luring in some more sellers because the sentiment here is very high, right? Let me check the sentiment again. So a lot of people here just closed out. I think a lot of people who were in some massive drawdown from last week, they just closed out. They're just like, nah, I'm not playing with this no more. And they just closed out of their position. They made some of their losses back, and then they just closed out. If you guys remember last week, the number here kept going up. It was like 60 to like 65. And then price just kept going up higher and higher. So those people were in some massive drawdown, and they're just holding on to their position, to like holding on for dear life, that they wouldn't get margin called out. So I think the market makers are just manipulating price right now. They're trying to lure in some more sellers, so that people hop into the sells here, so that tomorrow when price does push back up for FOMC, it's just going to stop everybody out. So I actually want the sellers to stack up. If they don't stack up, it's fine, but it'd be more beneficial for them to stack up for us, so that we can identify how to trade against them, specifically for the market tomorrow. But there's just not really much going on specifically in the market that's causing, like typically if a drop like that happens, it's because there's a news event happening or just something going on around the world, right? Right now, there's nothing going on, like nothing specific that could affect the market. You can see the volatility here is now completely dead, because now they're looking to think whether they're going to lure into more sellers or whether they're going to stop everybody out who chase the sell. Because I'm sure you guys, this has happened to you guys before. You guys see price dropping like this, and what happens? You guys just emotionally jump into the trade, right? You see price dumping, and you're like, oh, I need to hop into this too, and you get that FOMO. So you hop into a trade. As soon as you get into the trade, what happens? Price just goes dead, right? And I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you guys. That's why I never chase trades. Like I try to look for the move before the move actually happens. That's why we look for V1s and V2s, because those usually indicate the start of a drop or a start of a bullish push. So yeah, price is just going sideways here now. Not really useful for us at the moment. Maybe I'll just update the lower zone over here. Yeah, so this right here is really tricky, because it looks like they're going to try to manipulate price either up or manipulate price down. Because it looks like, if you got, so there's two different types of people in the market. There's people who are looking to chase the drop, and there's people who are trying to catch the bottom. So I think right here, the bottom has not gotten hit yet. You can see prices consolidating right here, going sideways, because you guys have to understand that there's some people who try to catch the bottoms right here. You identify this as support. So now they're looking for the retest, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that before. People try to teach that. They try to look for price to come down and then retest it for a double bottom. But I personally think price will just continue dropping. Just personal personal opinion there. I think price will consolidate here for a bit. It's probably going to drop a little bit to stop everybody out and then go back up. So see how price is currently at the support right now? I think this is what will happen. And I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you guys when you guys have traded before. Price kind of comes down to the bottom like this, consolidates a little bit, goes up higher, makes you think price is going to bounce off it because you think it's like a W pattern, right? I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you guys. You guys see something like this play out, and then you're like, okay, perfect. I caught the bottom. As soon as you think you caught the bottom right there, price comes slamming right back down, and then it stops you out right here, right? As soon as it stops you out, what happens from this point? It comes all the way back up, and then it goes shoot straight to the moon. And I'm sure you guys have seen this pattern before. It's just a big out pattern. So I think this is what might happen. I think price will establish some support here. Price will start to load up on those buys. I think once people start loading up on the buys right here, it's going to push up. And then when it gets to this point, it's going to come down, stop everybody out. And then it's going to go all the way back up. And I'm sure you guys have gotten caught in that position too. I only know this from experience because I've gotten stopped out taking these stupid trades before. That's why I don't take these dumb trades anymore. Like I've lost so much money taking these type of trades where I'm trying to predict the bounce or I'm trying to predict the continuation. And then what happens is I end up getting stopped out in both directions. I take the buy right here, and then I get stopped out right here, right? I take the buy right here, price comes down, I get stopped out right here. What happens right here? You take the sell. What happens when you take the sell? Price goes straight up, and then you get stopped out a second time and you're pissed off, right? It comes from experience, guys. Like everything that I'm teaching you guys, it's because I've done it myself. Like I've lost these trades a lot of times. I've seen these patterns come up, and it just always pisses me off because it's like, I know what's going to happen and I still take the trade because I have FOMO. Now I don't take the trade at all. I just watch it. And then when it plays out, I laugh about it because I'm like, I knew that was going to happen. And then I'm just laughing about it because I know there's like a bunch of people out there that are getting stopped out. So, just keep that in mind, guys. It all comes from experience. All this stuff is like just a repeat of the process, especially if you trade one asset every day. You start to see exactly how that asset moves. Like US30, we've been doing this for, I think we're going on over 5 years now, every day. So we've seen these patterns play out over and over again. C6 said, I'm calling it. Thanks, Sean. Going back to bed. 3 hours of messing with EG and gold. All right, C6, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Roosevelt said, FOMO is like that female you meet at 2:30 a.m. after everything's closed. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right, Roosevelt. That's when you're down bad, right? When you're down bad and you really want to take that trade, you get that FOMO, don't take it. Like, for example, here, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes right back down and stop everybody out. At some point, it might not happen right here, but eventually it'll come back down. So Roosevelt's asking, are you going to trade in the afternoon for reversal? No, so I haven't traded in the afternoon in over like 2 years. Roosevelt, I don't trade after like the live session. If I do trade after the live session, I'll trade for like maybe the later first half. So right now it's 7:33 my time. I'll probably trade maybe like at 10 sometimes, but today I'm not going to be trading at all. Usually I'm pretty disciplined about being done at 8 o'clock. But I never trade that late in the session anymore. I know we used to do that mid-market reversal, the afternoon reversal, but I don't think it's worth it because it doesn't always play out. It happens a lot, but it doesn't play out every time. It's just too risky. All right, so price is coming down right here. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes down and comes below this zone right here. Because look, think about it. If people are chasing buys right here, where are they going to place their stop loss? And I only know this because I used to do the same thing. People are taking buys right here. Stop loss is like right there. And their TP is like way up there, right? Who else spotted that? I'm sure a lot of you guys here on the YouTube channel who don't trade like me, I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking at an entry like this. And this is normal. A lot of people look at entries like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if price comes down, stop these people out, and it goes all the way back up. So the thing that I've learned is that, Rick said, hey, look, my old pattern. Exactly, right? The thing that I've learned over the years, guys, is think about what other people are thinking. Like think about the other retail trader, like the old you, like Rick. Think about the old you. If you're looking at this entry here, this is what you would have taken, right? think about what the market would do in opposite. So since we have this marked up right here, I think price will come down and stop everybody out, and then it'll go up. So it's it just comes from like a lot of like seeing this play out. So like for me, I try to see what the majority of people are looking at. I see people identifying this as a double bottom. So you see how price established a bottom here. See how price is coming back to the retest. I'm seeing people thinking of this as a double bottom. So what do? I think the opposite. If everyone's thinking this is a double bottom, I'm thinking this is going to stop everybody out. It's going to come down below this area. It might not happen right now. I mean, price can just go sideways for a bit, because I'm sure this has happened to you guys before, where you guys have an entry setup right here. And then what happens? Price just goes sideways for a bit, or it doesn't go sideways. You see a messy move here. Usually you'll see price go up and down. You're like, and you start to get nervous. And then price goes up, goes down, goes up a little bit. So it goes close to your stop loss. It goes up a little bit, and then it just goes right back down and stops you out. Like this is the same pattern that always, I mean, I've gotten caught in this pattern so many times. I try to trade double bottoms. This is why I don't trade patterns. I look at patterns to identify where other people are trading, but I personally don't trade patterns myself, because everybody trades patterns, right? So if everybody's trading patterns, I want to do the opposite, because that's usually how people get stopped out and lose trades. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah, Rick said it would tick me off, and I was doing exactly what my mentor was telling me to do, and just thought I'm not as professional as them. Yeah, definitely not the case, Rick. It's the thing is, like, a lot of people out there teach everybody the same way of trading, and that's how a lot of people start losing, because you can't trade like everybody else, especially not in a market that's evolving like this. You know, this type of market is evolving every day. So unless you're like able to adapt with the market, you're going to be behind in the game. So I always try to stay, I always try to stay on top of the game. Like I always try to stay like 2 steps ahead of the game. So if the retail traders are looking for a double bottom right here, I'm trying to be ahead of them. I'm trying to think, okay, if these people end up losing the trade, where's price got to go? You know, price has to come down. Like these people who are chasing buys here, the only way for them to lose is if price comes down. So that's why I look for that opportunity to hop in for the move to the downside. Like I would look for a V1 variation here, and then I'd look for that pushback to the downside. That's exactly what I'd be looking for. Here's the liquidity. Price is still not at that area. You can see price is going sideways. Again, like I mentioned before, guys, I would be waiting for this to push down, consolidate further, and then make entry. Because it's never a smooth move down. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that by now. It's never a smooth move to the downside. It's usually a choppy move to the downside. But I do think eventually price will be coming back down. Barty said it's very hard to stay humble like Sean is. No, yeah, it's really hard to be like humble, because I'm able to like admit to you guys that I do lose, and like, you know, that's the only reason I got better is because I lost, and I got to a point where I was like, I'm never going to lose again, or I'm never going to lose like I did before. And you know, it's really humbling to like come down and learn from that. But mostly like the discipline and the consistency just comes from repetition. You know, if you guys are on this live session with me every day, you guys will start to become more and more disciplined. Like, for example, today, there's no official entries that came up. So technically, there's nothing that could have been taken today aside from the other strategy that we applied on the 1 hour. So if you guys didn't take any trades, that's actually a good thing, because you would have saved your account from being stuck in this mess here. All right, a couple more profits over here. We have Natasha. She said took the pullback on the 1 hour for a partial. She's mad she missed that one trade. So total profit here from Natasha, 570 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Natasha. It's all good. You're gonna miss trades here and there. We got Patricia over here, total profit of 5,880 for the day, all wins. Nice work right here, Patricia. So great work right there. We have Andrew over here. He said caught an L earlier, but he made majority of it back. Yeah, nice recovery right here. And we took a trade over here pre-market for a buy. Unfortunately, ate a loss there, but then he made it right back during the live session right here as price started to, or he took this like on open. On open, he took a buy right there, took a loss, and then he bounced right back. So he's only down 280. You just need one more win, and you'll be back in profit, Andrew. We got CSUK over here, more profits on his account, total profit of 9,725 on his first account, all wins right there. Here is CSUK's second account, total profit of 3,400 for the day, took all the sells here for US30. So basically all the sell opportunities that came up. Nice work right there, CSUK. And CSUK's third account, total profit of 2,800. So as you guys can see, CSUK's account, he's trading these individually. So you can see how he has green strip on every single trade. CSUK actually doesn't use a copier, which is surprising. He just takes, he takes them all manually. He has like 3 different MT4s that are open, or he might have like 3 different screens, and he just takes all of his trades manually, which is crazy. That's why his profits are different. This one has 9,000, this one has 3,000, and this one has 2,000. I don't know how CSUK does it, but he does it. We got Nelly over here, total profit of 1,875 for the day. Nice work, Nelly, all wins. It's a great work right there from Nelly. We got Gian over here, Gian total profit of 4,111. Gian took that trade with us this morning as well. Full TPs right there. I don't know what Gian was doing here, but it looks like he cut it a little early, which is good. Better early than late. So nice work right there, Gian. Total profit of 4,100 for the day. We got Barack over here, total profit of 4,765 for the day, all wins. Looks like Barack was counter trend trading today. Did pretty good. He said, good day, Sean. Got some start the week off, took some retracements, and then awaited the dump. So yeah, nice work right there, Barack. Solid profits. And then here's Maddie's notes. Yeah, definitely. So guys, this is something that, like, you know, some of you guys should have a routine, right? This is what I was discussing earlier. Here's Maddie's routine. Like, he has a routine every day, you know, taking one good trade, one good trade, one good trade. That's all he's looking for. Every hour, he's looking for one good trade. If you guys need that reminder, you can do what Maddie's doing, just write it down. I feel like when you write stuff down, it helps you remember it more, and it just solidifies it in your brain. So here we go, as price continues to kind of just bounce around this area. It looks like price is just creating a bigger range. So it might look like price is correcting back up, but realistically, I think, in my opinion, price is just creating a bigger range. So it's just ranging right here now. It looks like price may be correcting back up, but I think this is just a bigger range. So price might just continue pushing up and down from this area, come back down, stop everybody out, and hit liquidity. I mean, we'll see. There just isn't any entries for us today, unfortunately, guys. I was hoping we'd get at least one entry today, like an official entry, but unfortunately, it's not looking like we're having one today. A lot of people here who took profits, so just keep that in mind. There's other strategies that you guys can apply. You know, if you're in the Zoom over here, you can see that a couple of people are kind of just hitting, or they're noting like different entries that are coming up, and they're just taking them on their own. So if you guys want to take the entries on your own, you know, go on the website and just get access to the indicators. Because if you guys have access to the indicators, you guys can pull up basically any of my 30 to 40 strategies here that you can apply. I think the strategy that a lot of people are applying still is the high-low scalp. This is one of the main ones. This strategy actually works well right now because price is in such a strong downwards push, right? So for example, here, there was a high-low scalp right here, actually. So there's a lower low right there. This candle broke and closed below the lower low. There's a sell momentum, strong downwards trend. This was a high-low scalp. I think this is one that Madhu actually caught. And that's part of Madhu's profits right here. You know, he's up 1,875 for the day. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys want access to the other strategies so that you guys can do this on your own, or if you guys just want to listen to my analysis and take trades where I think price is going to go, you guys can do that as well. It seems like that's what majority of people are doing. So, you know, if you guys are new here, make sure that you check out the website, kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. That'll give you access to the course. This is what the course looks like. I pretty much cover every strategy that I've taught to you guys over the past 7 years on this website. Whenever I have a new strategy, I just make a video and I put it on there, and then you guys can take a look at it. Let's see, other than that, All right, Maddie. Maddie's gonna be doing some Pilates today. All right, man. I'll catch you later. Yeah, no, just hit me up. I'm gonna go to the gym after this, so maybe after the gym I can meet up with you. If not, actually, I think today we'll see because I have a mentoring session today with Daniel. So I got to message Daniel. So guys, just a heads up, if you guys want to sit in on a mentoring session today, I'm having a one-on-one session with Daniel at 2 p.m. I'm gonna message Daniel. I'm asking if we can open it up to the public. Hopefully he'll open it up to everybody so that you guys can just sit in and watch. But yeah, if you guys are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, just go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. Make sure that you have you're subscribed to the channel and you have notifications on, because when I have one-on-one mentoring sessions, I don't send out the link always, but if you do have notifications on, YouTube will send you an email when I go live. So like later today at 2 p.m., if I go live on YouTube stream, they'll send you an email like, hey, Sean's having a one-on-one private mentorship with Dan. So Daniel, no. So yeah, Daniel said you cannot, just kidding. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So Daniel here just confirmed that we can stream his mentoring session. So we'll be streaming today at 2 p.m. guys. With Daniel. So Daniel probably has some good questions covering specific stuff that you guys might have questions about too. So be good to attend. All right, let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. I know, Manny, I just saw that right now. Your direct message from earlier with price going down. It it always happens. Those are the worst. I hate when that happens because it's like, if you're gonna say something, say it. You know what I'm talking about, Maddie. Mohammed's asking 2 p.m. which country? Mohammed, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So US California time. So I'm not sure where you're located, but 2 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, me and Daniel are going to have a one-on-one private mentoring session. I'm not going to answer any other questions from the public, but me and Daniel are going to have a dialogue where you guys can just sit in and listen to, basically whatever questions he has. A lot of the questions that people ask are similar questions that a lot of other people have. So and if you guys want to rewatch any of the previous ones, just go to the YouTube channel, go to mentoring sessions right here. If you click on the playlist, it's going to give you all the mentoring sessions that I've ever had. So I have over 182 mentoring sessions here. Everything with the orange background is a private mentoring session one-on-one. Everything with a green background is a group mentoring session. So I keep everything documented. So if you guys want to go back and rewatch that stuff, it's available to everyone. I keep everything public. All my live sessions, all my mentoring sessions, all my strategies, everything's public. So everyone wants to check out. Yeah, so Brock said he's watching the zone. Yeah, price is pushing up. Let me see how far has this pushed up from. So this is basically the correction that we were kind of anticipating, but I'm still not convinced that it's going to hold up yet. I mean, price might come back down. I do think price will push up this week though. So I think this push to the downside is temporary. I think price will push up. The main reason for that is because the sentiment's so strong. So looking over here at retail sentiment, you can see the sentiment did drop a lot. It's currently 58% short now. So it's not very strong. Typically you want it to be above 60%. Right now it's below it. So it's not very strong on the sell side anymore. It was strong this morning. So this morning is about 65%. Price dropped down. A lot of people on the sell side finally closed out of their heavy losses. And then now they are starting to shift. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are still down very heavily. They're down 300 points. So I do expect this to correct back up. That's typically how the market works, guys. The market will correct back up eventually. It's not going to, I don't think it'll hold for too long. Lastly, looking over here at the technicals. So looking at the technicals here, the short-term technicals are currently bearish neutral. Reason for that is because price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. However, here on the 1 minute, the trend meter is red, but price is in between the pivots, and the pivots are actually angling up now. So with that said, short-term bias is currently bearish neutral. Long-term bias over here is basically bearish right now, but the 4-hour here is still a bit neutral. So you can see over here on the 30-minute prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. We have the same thing here on the 1-hour prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. However, here on the 4-hour, the trend meter is currently blue right now, which is neutral. Price is in between the pivots, and the pivots are starting to go sideways. So with that said, 4 hours neutral, 1 minute's neutral. So the complete opposites of the spectrum are neutral. 1 minute's neutral, 4 hours neutral, basically sideways. Everything in between is still currently bearish. So with that said, we have a bearish neutral bias with regard to the technicals. So technicals are bearish neutral. Fundamentals are obviously very bearish right now. They're still down 100 points. Retail sentiment is currently still bullish, but it's not very strong. It's like 58% short now. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes crashing right back down. Right, this is a V1 variation that's actually pending right here. It's not one I would personally take, but it is a V1 variation that is setting up right there for a sell possibly. I'll follow it, but I don't think I'm going to take this trade here. I just don't like the way the market's currently moving at the moment. So I'm not necessarily inclined to want to take this trade here. So I'll mark it up for you guys. We'll follow this, see how it plays out. But again, I'm not in this position here. So if this trade does hit, I'm not going to count it as a win. I think it'll hit, but I'm not going to take it. It's just too risky of a move. Right now, price is a bit indecisive. Like I mentioned, if you look over here at the technicals, both sides are complete opposite. The 1 minute over here is pretty much flat neutral. 4-hour here is flat neutral too. Everything in between is still bearish. So that's why I think the sell will play out. But as I mentioned, I don't think it's a clean move. So right there, it's coming down, full TP. So if you guys took it, great work. You guys can see my strategy still work perfectly fine. It's just if I don't feel comfortable about it, I'm not going to take the trade. So right there, I'm going to blast it right through TP. So whoever caught it, nice work, guys. If you didn't, it's okay. I'm just not really feeling, I'm not feeling the need to take the unnecessary risk right now. It's also getting close to 8 o'clock. Would have been a nice trade though. Glenn is asking any profit today, Sean. Just got back, had to run some errands earlier. Yeah, I'm up today. So currently, this is my main FTMO account with the green strip, total profit of 2,340. Here is my FTMO number 2 count, total profit of 2,440. Got some slippage there in my favor. Here's my MFF account number 1. Obviously not good slippage, locked in 730. MFF number 2, locked in 680. And my MFF number 3, total profit of 680. So, I mean, I'm up pretty decent for the day. If I took this trade, I would have been double that. So right now I'm currently, let's see, 2340, 2440, 730, 680, 680. So I'm up about 6,870. If I took that V1 variation here, obviously it went straight to full TP. I would have been up 12,000 or 13,000 for the day. I don't care. It's not a big deal. I mean, a lot of people, they get caught on like this. If they miss this trade here, they get like massive FOMO. For me, I could have been up like another 6,000 right here, but I don't care. I'm kind of just, I'm just accepting the fact that I skipped the trade. So I think that that's something that a lot of people need to get better with. It's really just being able to accept the trade that it played out and not FOMOing into the move. Because I see a lot of people, they'll see the trade hit and then they just FOMO in and then they lose the next trade and they get so mad at themselves. So like for this, for example, I knew this was going to hit, but I just didn't feel confident about taking it. So I didn't take the trade. Yeah, as you guys can see, pretty decent for the day so far. So, all right, guys, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, there's no official entries for us to take today. There's just nothing that came up. There's no high-low momentum scalps that came up, which is one of the official strategies that we technically are applying here. Liquidity push, there was one on open, but it wasn't as clean as we would have wanted. Price is making its way back down right here, but again, it's not necessarily looking like one that we would personally want to mess with here. Let's see, Roosevelt's asking, what about the trade at 11? So if the trade does come up right here at so it's 11 your time, it's going to be 8 o'clock my time. It would be a sell. Well, possibly if this momentum stays there. I want to go to this chart because I use this chart for it. So looking at market structure right here, looks like it would be a sell. So in the next 4 minutes or so, if this sell momentum stays there and the trend meter down below is still red, then it would be a sell at 8 o'clock right here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there, but I'm just going to wrap it up for now. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll be back here in about 6 hours for the one-on-one private mentoring session with Daniel. So if you guys want to sit in on that, I will post a link to the groups. And then if you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel, YouTube will send you an email with the actual link. So, all right, guys, if there's questions, reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, or you guys can message me at Telegram at KodiKaiTrades. Probably quickest way to get in touch with me. Another thing that you guys can look at would be the YouTube channel. Let's go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. Click and subscribe, turn on notifications, and YouTube will send you an email when I go live later today at 2. So, all right, guys, hopefully we have a better market tomorrow. But if not, we're not going to force anything. So, all right, guys, I'll see you.